and another title from Keymailer. This time it's called Witch Hunt, a challenging horror-themed hunting game that takes place in the 18th century. Main focus of the game is on exploration, non-linearity, and atmosphere. Witch Hunt features light RPG elements in form of a financial system and a skill system. You play as a witch hunter who took the task of eliminating all evil that settled in the woods near the town of Bellville. To achieve your goals, you will be able to use weapons, magic, and other tools that can be found and bought. Warning: hunting requires patience and perseverance. If it's not your strongest qualities, you might find this game to be very frustrating. And the key features of this game are large environments, non-linear gameplay, skill system, financial system, no hand-holding, variety of creatures, suspenseful creepy atmosphere, challenging difficulty, and gamepad support for 50 controllers. The last point is completely irrelevant for me, but it might not be for you. It seems to be both published and developed by a single person, and if that is the case, it looks rather impressive from the screenshots and how smooth it is so far, and from the overall Steam ratings. It has very positive, and as of lately, mostly positive, but as of lately it's been like 20 reviews, and the not all time, but most of the reviews are, like there's around 800 something reviews which Steam marks as very positive, so let's have a look. Audio should be fine, but I haven't launched the game yet. In perma mode, game only saves progress when you complete quests. There's no other way to save progress, not recommended for a first playthrough. Okay then, start a new game. When demons slaughtered my family, I decided to devote my life to fighting evil. At first I was motivated by vengeance, but then I met a man who showed me the right way. Recently, I heard that in a small town called Bellville, people started to disappear and get killed by some creature. I immediately went to that town. Something big attacked me on the way to Bellville. I was able to scare it off, but my horse ran away with most of my supplies. Luckily, I was able to get to town on foot. Now, the reason why you won't see my face cam is because I cut the old footage, and I instead inserted in a new footage, which won't be as laggy as the old footage was. Now, let's start with a few things. First off, there's things that my recording setup didn't like about the game, and then things that I didn't like about the game. Let's start with the things that my setup didn't like. For some reason, it would be all choppy on the recording, very choppy, and the game itself wouldn't run smooth, which I find surprising considering that I can, run something as demanding as Apex Legends on medium to high settings, and I had the high preset in the first playthrough of the game, and even on my end when I was playing it was choppy at times. That aside, that's the explanation for why there's footage without my face cam. And about the things that I didn't like about the game, in general, I do not like scary games. I should have known better. I didn't know what to expect, because I like when developers or developer or the publisher add a video of what to expect from their project, and if I'm not mistaken, I might be. If I'm not mistaken, this game did not have a trailer. Correction, the game does have a trailer, but it's on Steam, not on Keymailer. And when I was considering whether to claim the game or not, receive the key in exchange for providing content of or coverage of the game, I didn't think of looking up if it has a trailer on Steam until I claimed the key on Keymailer. That's what I meant. And about why there is no face cam, I think I explained that poorly. I had to lower the graphics settings and I tried playing without the headset to try and get some footage as a background to my commentary on the title. And when it's not a scary game, I don't mind. I can always make a video about it and do whatever I want to do with the video, talk about what I think could be improved, or what is done right in my opinion, what is done really well, or what the game might be missing. However, when it's a scary game, I cannot really focus on trying to do that, because this particular game, I can bring myself to play it more than for half an hour or so. Then I get shit scared and I just turn the game off and I don't want to play it again. And if the game wants to do that, if the developer wants the game to be atmospherically scary and the enemies to be scary and everything, well then props to you, you achieved it. But it's not really something I would want to play. But I do not want the situation of me claiming a key and then not releasing any content on it to happen ever again. There's only one case where that happened with Rise of Legions, and I still have the footage for that, so I might fix... Whatever, I digress. The game is... Okay, about the game. The game is very atmospheric. The sound effects, they sound good. Anything in... Oh, what's that? That's just moonlight. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's like... Do I really have to go there? Oh, for fuck's sake. Death? Ooh, money. Okay, I'm done here. Bye. The enemies... the hitboxes work, I think. The only problem I have with them is not being able to really tell what is an enemy, what is not an enemy. This is not a game for me. I need 50 mana. Is that... It's just a stone, right? Oh no, that's not even a stone. I'm sorry, I can't tell. And if this particular sound effect is something that an enemy does, or if this particular sound effect is something that I should be scared of, because I get that this is sort of trying to be like in a way, an RPG, but if I'm not mistaken, if I have the perception right, also something like a dungeon crawler. One of those types like Dead Cells, where you're not really told anything, or Risk of Rain, you're not really told much, and you're supposed to work it out on the way. And if you die, well, you died. You will know better next time. And I would be fine with that in this title if there wasn't something like the Whisperers, for example. Now the Whisperers, I'll have a clip show what the Whisperers are. Nothing pleasant in my opinion. And the problem with them is you cannot interact with them. The only thing you can do is run, but how are you supposed to know that you should run? When I initially encountered the Whisperer, roll the clip. Fuck. What the actual fuck was that? No. I was relatively unhappy with the encounter, and I thought to myself, how could have I known that it would do 50 damage? Because I could barely see the thing until it was really close, and by then when I fired, it didn't matter. Because only later, a tip on a loading screen will tell you, you cannot do anything to Whisperers, the only thing you can do is run. Well, okay, why not show this tip before? It's like when I'm entering the area where the Whisperers can show. This is the part of the tutorial, is it not? Because when you first load into the forest, you get told like you can draw out your weapon, you can fire a gun, you can do this and this. And I'm not sure how long is, the particular game. From Steam reviews, it seems like there's either 1, 2, or 3 large areas, or like very large areas, where you're supposed to hunt for the beast. And if there are more encounters like the Whisperer, then, for the first time when you encounter that, telling the player, hey, this is a type of enemy you cannot fight, and you have to figure out how to deal with it. This time I'm gonna tell you, hey, run, or you're gonna take half of your health as damage. I think that would be fine. For other types of enemies, the only problem I had with them was not really being able to tell if something was an enemy or not. Because it might be just, the way that my setup doesn't like the game, with the graphics settings and the like. I only have 4 GB of DDR5 here. I wanted to redo the recording on my desktop PC, but if you read my community page, you would know that for some reason the hard drive seems to have died, so I cannot really do anything on it at the moment, and probably won't be able for a short while, but I digress. So that's the first thing. And I know that, well no, I think that there are more encounters like the one with the Whisperer, because later on, I'll have that as a clip as well, I encountered something that I was able to figure out relatively fast, and it was better than the Whisperer, because it didn't punish me as severely for disobeying the sort of win condition. Something that, if you look at it, you take 10 damage, and you have 1 second before you take the damage. And all you have to do is just like look away. Ah! What the fuck was... What's that? Why do I take damage? Why did I take damage? What the fuck? And I couldn't see where was I seen from, because in the first playthrough I was, there was something apparently looking at me, and I took 10 damage every second until I averted my gaze. But in the next playthrough there was nothing. I was looking around, I was like a lighthouse, like, hey, look at me, here, over here, and no one, nobody, nothing. So, that was a bit inconsistent, but I get that. It's like, yeah, it's not gonna be same every playthrough. Just my problem is not really being told anything. It's like, yeah, there is the objective, and you get told that if you're within 500 meters of the beast that you're hunting or the target, you sense it. But on the same page, I think just a little bit of information could make this more fun for me. But then again, I'm not the target audience. I do not like scary games. The only scary game that I ever finished was Dead Space, because it's from third person, so when your character gets jumped by something, it's not necessarily your screen that has like a very close up with a monster that's like tearing your heart out or whatever. That's not an enemy, is it? No, that's a stone. No! What? Fucker! Or like trying to stab you or something, It's less scary is what I'm trying to say. Which is not the case with this game. It's very atmospheric, it's very strong on the emotions, and I'm not really the target audience for it. As for the rest of the game, for a game that's made by a single person, I think it visually achieves what it wants to do. Audio-wise, it's nice as well. I think the enemies are a bit clunky. Whisperer seems to work fine. The invisible thing that gives you damage for free, it's like, here, you want damage, have some damage, that too. I haven't reached a single boss, because I'm too scared to try and do that. I tried to turn on the games like 2 more times on that same day, and then a few more times on yesterday, and I just can't bring myself to play it because I'm that scared. I tried to play without headphones on to not hear any sound effects and just play like if I was deaf and only try to walk forward, but even that is like, I'm just not the scary game person, the scary game type of person there. So I can't really say anything on the bosses, but the skill system works fine. You can get gold if you know where to look, if you know what to do. You can get gold pretty fast, and in relatively large quantities. You can get healing plants, you can do whatever. I think the game works fine. Rather impressive for, being for something that was made by a single person. I'm just not the type of person that would like to spend free time onto scary games, so that's the major problem I have with the game, but it's not the game's fault. It's just that I don't like the genre, not the genre. I like the genre, but I don't like this specific type, scary. So you can buy this game on Steam for $8.80, I think, or €8.80 cents as well. I don't know. It's around €9 basically, and that's about it. for future, I'm gonna avoid scary games. So if you are the developer, Andre, and you're watching this, I'm sorry I'm not gonna provide any more feedback because I'm shit scared to play your game. Which might be an achievement, you know. Only those with a strong will be able to play this. I'm not a person with strong will when it comes to scary games, so it's all from me, and I'll see you in the next key mailer video whenever I get a key to a free game that I like. I'm so far getting denied left and right. Request a key for this, denied. For that, denied. Oh well. I digress. That's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Murdered in here. What the... Fuck off, snake. Is it dead? Or am I dead?